The last tenant of room 9. Cold open. I want you to think about something for a second. You're scrolling through apartment listings late at night, tired, maybe a little stressed, and then you see it. A place that looks fine, normal, and the price is so low that your stomach does this little flip. Not a bad flip, a hopeful one. Because you need this. You really need this to work out. That's exactly where Clara Hensley was in September of 2019. 34 years old, a nurse, someone who'd held dying strangers' hands at 3 a.m. and still shown up the next shift. Someone who didn't scare easy. She drove to that apartment on a Saturday morning. She called her sister from the parking lot just to check in, the way you do. That was the last normal phone call her family ever got from her. Part 1. The Listing. The place was in Millfield, Ohio. Small town. Quiet. The kind of quiet that sounds peaceful until you've been in it too long. The listing was on Craigslist. 2 bedrooms, $380 a month. $380. The landlord, a man named Gerald Voss, communicated only over email. Said he didn't do in-person viewings. Said it was his knees. Clara didn't push back. She was practical. She paid 3 months up front, got the keys in the mail. And on the morning of September 14th, she went to see her new home for the very first time. She called her sister from the parking lot, said, "It looks fine from outside, a little old. I'll call you when I'm settled in." She never called back. Part 2. The Building. 2 other people lived in that building. Marcus Webb, 28, delivery driver, Unit 7. The kind of guy who keeps to himself but notices everything. And Doris Plank, Unit 11, 71 years old, had lived in that building for 22 years, which, when you think about it later, says something. Marcus told investigators he heard Clara arrive, heard her footsteps in the hallway, heard her key turn in the lock of room 9, and then silence. He said, and this is what stayed with me, he said it wasn't normal quiet. It was the kind of silence that made me turn off my TV because I needed to make sure I was still hearing it. Think about that. Silence so heavy it made a grown man sit completely still in his own apartment, just listening to nothing. Doris Plank heard something different. She said she heard 2 sets of footsteps go into room 9. Clara had come alone. Part 3. The Door Opens. After 40 minutes of that silence, Marcus knocked. Clara opened the door. She wasn't screaming. She wasn't shaking. There were no tears on her face. She was standing with her back to the door, facing the wall. When she heard the knock, she turned around, slowly. Marcus said her face looked like someone had removed every emotion from it, like a phone that's been wiped clean. He said it wasn't that she looked scared, it was that she looked like she'd forgotten what feelings were. She walked past him without a word, down the hallway, down the stairs, out to the parking lot. She placed her keys on the hood of her car and drove away. Marcus stood in the doorway of room 9 for a long moment. Then he stepped inside. Part 4. The Floor. The apartment was empty. No boxes, no furniture, nothing on the walls, except the floor. Someone had carved into the hardwood, not randomly, not like vandalism. These were deliberate, measured. A grid, like a calendar. Hundreds and hundreds of small boxes scratched into the wood across the entire floor. Most of them had an X inside. Marcus said he stood there trying to count them, trying to make sense of it. And then he saw the last box, the very last one in the grid, freshly carved, the wood still pale, like it had just been done. Hours ago, maybe less. No X, just a name. Clara. Just let that sit.
Part 5. What the investigation found. Police came. Forensics came. The scratches had been made by multiple different tools over what appeared to be decades. DNA from at least 7 different individuals was found in that single room. And the grid, when they finally counted every box, 2,847. A retired detective named Frank Ouellette couldn't sleep after hearing about the case. He started pulling records, missing persons reports, Millfield and the surrounding counties, all the way back to 1971, the year that building was constructed. He found 2,846 people reported missing within a 40-mile radius of that building. Each one matched a box. Clara was box 2,847. But Clara wasn't missing. Clara was alive. Part 6. Clara today. Clara Hensley has not spoken a single word since September 14th, 2019. Not one word. Doctors have examined her. Her vocal cords are fine. Her brain scans show nothing unusual. There is no medical reason for her silence. She just doesn't speak. Her family keeps a notebook beside her at all times, just in case. In 4 years, she has written only 3 things. It was already there. It knew my name before I opened the door. Don't count the boxes. If you count them, it counts you back. Part 7. The Landlord. Investigators tracked down Gerald Voss. The address on file was in Guernsey County, Ohio. It was a cemetery. They found the name on a headstone. Gerald Voss. Died 1987. The ending. Let's start. Room 9 was sealed in November 2019. It was reopened in March 2022. Routine inspection. The inspector filed his report. Standard stuff: foundation, wiring, water damage. Except for one line at the bottom of the report. Floor markings have been updated since last inspection. 1 new box has been added. Box 2,848. Empty. No name yet. Somewhere out there tonight, someone is probably scrolling through listings, looking for a place that feels like a fresh start. I really hope they check the floor.